Well, good evening. Tonight I am at Niagara Square, downtown Buffalo, New York. And you can see right behind me is the statue to our former president, Grover Cleveland. Now, you may not be aware, that, I'm sure if you're from here you know, but Grover Cleveland was from Buffalo. Now, tonight I want to talk to you about getting back up. Getting back up. That's what I want to talk about tonight. And let me read a passage of scripture for you. This is the Apostle Paul talking in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. He said this: "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed." Now, the reason why I want to talk about that passage right here is because Grover Cleveland. Let me just very quickly give you a fast recap of his story. He's from Buffalo. And he was convinced by some friends that he should run for the Erie County Sheriff. And so he put his name in the hat, and lo and behold, he won, and he became the Sheriff of Erie County. Now, I technically live here in Erie County. Our church is in Niagara County, but I live just across. And so he became the sheriff. Well, he won the approval and confidence of a lot of people, and so he was then talked into running for the mayor of Buffalo, and lo and behold, he won. And he won a lot of confidence from the people of Buffalo, and so then he was talked into running for the governor of New York, and lo and behold, he won. And so as the governor, now he's gone from Buffalo to Albany. And he won the confidence of the American people, and he ran for the president of the United States. And Grover Cleveland became the 22nd president of the United States. And without going through all of his accomplishments, he did do some really good things, and people really believed in him. He was known as just a straight shooter, fair dealing, honest guy. And some of the westward trade deals that were found to not be totally honest, he exposed them and did a lot of good things, and people had confidence in him. Well, he was running for re-election, and he won the popular vote to be reelected, but he lost in the Electoral College. Now, we know what that's like here in America. That's happened in my lifetime. And of course, the side that wins the Electoral College is that's the American way. The side that loses, we need to change. you know how it goes. I can see where if you lost the Electoral College, but you did win the popular vote, it would sting. It's just got to sting. It has to. Well, so he lost. Losing a presidential election, most people just crawl in a hole. It's like losing anything on a grand scale. There's a long record of teams that have made it to the Super Bowl and lost and struggled after that. Made it to the World Series and lost and then struggled after that. Made it to the NBA Finals and lost and then struggled. There's something about losing in front of everybody, losing in something huge that is just demoralizing and defeating. And so he lost. Benjamin Harris became the 23rd president of the United States, and I think it would have been easy for Grover Cleveland to have just kind of crawled in a hole and said, you know what, being the next president, you get a decent little pension. Let's just live it all out and try to be comfortable the rest of my life, and just be glad that I got to live in the White House. But he was convinced that he should run again, and he did. So Grover Cleveland was the 22nd president of the United States and the 24th president of the United States. He won re-election. You could say that he got up from off of the mat and fought again, and he won. Now, I saw a picture of him and Benjamin Harrison in the carriage ride to the 24th inauguration, and it looked really awkward, as you can imagine. It had to have been some kind of a bitter rivalry. And this year at our church, our theme is soar. Back in I think it was the last Sunday of January, I preached from Proverbs. Just man falls 7 times, rises up again. I preached on soaring after you've crashed. And when a person has really given the Christian life a real good go and a real good try and then crashed, it is hard to get up and try again. The embarrassment, the confidence that you've lost, and I understand that it's hard once you've gone up and then you crash to try to get up again. It's hard to do. Well, the Apostle Paul talks about this in the passage that I just read to you. Let me just tell you the 4 scenarios that he described. He described being troubled. Okay, being troubled. And I wrote my little notes here. Those are struggles in your heart, being troubled. Have you ever been troubled in your heart? Have you ever had struggles in your heart that you just had a hard time getting beyond? The next one he says being perplexed. Those are troubles in your mind when you're perplexed, when you're just like, why? If there really is a God in heaven, why is he making these things happen? Or why is he not preventing these things from happening? Just a confusion. And let me just say that anybody who has ever tried to live the Christian life has found points where they did not understand the ways of God. The old song says that, the mysterious, the ways of God can be mysterious. I think we've all been there, but perplexed. So there are troubled, struggles in your heart, perplexed, struggles in your mind. Then it says persecuted. Those are struggles from without. Whenever you really do want to live for the Lord, you want to do right, you want to be a biblical person, and you want to live a life that is honoring and pleasing and glorifying to God, but yet your family just doesn't get it. Your friends just are not supportive. The people you work with just want to tear you down, and those are struggles from without. Everything maybe in your mind might be, let's go for God. Everything in your heart might be, let's go for God, but then you get all these neighbors and friends and family and co-workers and on and on and on, and it seems like they pile on and you just can't seem to overcome. So he said struggles in your heart, perplexed, troubles in your mind, persecuted, troubles from without, and then cast down. He talks about being cast down, and I would call that the ultimate struggle. And whether the ultimate struggle for you is just forget it, I quit. Or maybe the struggle for you is a nervous breakdown, or maybe the struggle for you is a crash into sin, whatever it might be. What I would say to you is this: what Paul tells us and what he has given us right here in the scripture is this, that when you are troubled and perplexed and persecuted and cast down, here's what you have to do. You have to not be distressed. You have to not be in despair. You have to not be forsaken, because you're not, and not be destroyed. You see, you have to make up your mind that distressed, I'm too blessed to be distressed, okay? I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm just not going to let myself get distressed. Despair, despondent, frustrated. Christianity is not about a frustrated life. Christianity is about a peaceful life, a joyful life. Forsaken, can I remind you that you're not forsaken? You're not. Listen, whether anybody's on board with you or not, God is there. Whether you understand it or not, God is there. Whether you're feeling it in your heart or not, God is there. You're not forsaken. And then cast down but not destroyed. Let's make up our minds today that no matter how down we get and no matter how frustrated we get, that we are in this for the long haul. Friend, what I'm trying to say to you today is this: you can do it. You can do it. Just like Grover Cleveland rose and crashed. He said, I'm going to get up and try this again. And he did. So how about you? Rise up and try it again.